Hello friends, welcome. Today is Sunday, January 31st, and I'm recording this on Sunday afternoon, which I usually like to do this on Saturday morning, just a quick check-in and say hello, but unfortunately it's been a pretty busy weekend, so I haven't had the chance to do it until now, Sunday afternoon. But anyway, I'm glad that I had a chance to say hi to all of you and talk a little bit about what's going on right now. It has been a busy weekend, but just a lot of sort of things that have piled up that needed to get done. Nothing fun, nothing overwhelmingly important, just sort of the drudgery of life that eventually catches up to all of us, I suppose. But that's behind now, and can relax for the rest of the day today and enjoy myself until it's back to work tomorrow. So I'm smoking. You've seen this guy before. It's one of these cheap little knock-around billiards that I keep around for weekends, for working in the shop or driving or whatever. It's a nice pipe. And in it, I am smoking Weybridge by Four Noggins. This is a very generous gift. We had a tobacco exchange, is the simplest way to put it, on one of the forums, and this is what I received. This plus some additional tobacco, but this is about 8 ounces of Weybridge, and I like Weybridge. I probably have 4 or 6 ounces cellared, and of course I'm going to jar this up because I'm never going to be able to smoke this half-pound in a reasonable amount of time. But Weybridge is a real nice blend. If you haven't tried it, it's one of Four Noggins' house blends. And they're, I think, fournoggins.com, but you could Google Four Noggins pipe tobacco and find them. And what Weybridge is a Virginia Burley Perique blend, and I think it's an excellent tobacco. The Virginias are not dominant. When you first light the pipe, you definitely, the charring light and maybe the first quarter or so, it's hard to say. You know the Virginias are there. I know the Virginias are there. Your experience could be very different. But very quickly, once things get burning, the Burley takes over, and it's a nice, deep, nutty Burley that I really like. And the Perique is just marvelous in this blend. I mean, if you like Perique, you will like Weybridge. It's not overpowering. It's not a massive percentage of Perique, but it's noticeable. I mean, you taste Perique in this blend. So for me, I think if you've tried any of the Cornell and Deal, like Old Joe Krantz, for example, and I love Old Joe Krantz. That's one of my favorite tobaccos. If you've tried that or something like Haunted Bookshop and you've said, I understand why people like this, but this is too much for me. It's a little bit too strong. Give Weybridge a try. It's, I don't want to say a step down from that, but it's a milder, smoother version of that style of Virginia Burley Perique blend, and I think it's wonderful. So anyway, I'm enjoying that. And what I wanted to talk a little bit about today was something that came up during the week that was sort of pipe related, and that is, I'm curious how you all view your pipes, and let me explain what I mean by that. I'll explain by telling you how I view my pipes. So to me, pipes are tools. They allow me to smoke tobacco, which I would not be able to do otherwise. They're a utilitarian object. I can attach sentimental value to them, and I often do, and you've heard me talk about that. And they may, over time, develop value as collector's items, or just depending on who the maker is, they may be more sought after. But that's not why I own them. I own them to smoke them. I'm not a pipe collector. I don't want to be a pipe collector. I do have a few, like the LL Bean pipe, for example, that I wanted for its curiosity, just to say I have one, because it fits in with another aspect of my life, my enjoyment of fishing. But I don't have a case of pipes that I never smoke, and I say, oh, those are, my collection, and I don't do that. And I know there are people that do, and, that's great if that's what you enjoy doing. But when you view pipes from that sort of utilitarian standpoint, you probably treat them a bit differently. So if the rim of my pipe is not somewhat charred, because I use this guy when I light it, and because I treat it as a tool and I'm not as careful as I could be, if it's not charred, then it's probably a pipe that I'm not smoking very much. Now, that doesn't mean I don't care about it. It doesn't mean that I don't want the pipe to perform well. It just means that in terms of the cosmetics, I don't care if my hammer is a shiny silver hammer or a dull bronze hammer. As long as it's the right weight and has the right striking surface to do the job, I'm happy. And that's the way I feel about pipes. Now, why do I even bring this up? Well, I was reading something early last week that kind of struck me, and I'm not going to talk about specifics or where I was reading this or anything, because the people involved are all very good people, very talented, but someone was basically commenting on a pipe that had been restored by a previous owner or a previous workman that was restoring pipes, whatever, and effectively said this bonehead ruined this pipe because they had put a band on it that wasn't needed. And looking at their argument and all that, I agree, the band wasn't needed. But if it's my pipe and I think I need to put a band on it, why does anyone else care? If it's my pipe and I feel that I want to paint it orange and put racing stripes on it, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. And you get into the argument, well, what about the collector's items? What about the early 1900 Petersons or the Dunhills? Or yeah, sure, if it's something that's got a lot of intrinsic value, just because it's old, it's an antique essentially, I'm not going to destroy that pipe by trying to fix something. I'm not going to sand off the imprint on a 1900 Peterson. It would be silly to do that. But if I bought it to smoke it, and the only way that I could smoke it was to do that, then I don't think it would be wrong to do it. So I'm just curious how you all think about this. I know from watching some of your videos that some of you take very good care of your pipes, and that's good. Others don't, and if you enjoy them, that's good too. And I guess I'm somewhere in the middle. I maintain them, and you've seen how I maintain them. That's a big part of why this channel exists. And I think it's important to maintain them. But I don't, I'm not going to treat them like they're objects of art, because then that takes away some of the enjoyment. So it's a bit of a rant and a ramble, and I didn't really intend it to be that way. But I'm curious what other people think of this point. Am I being crazy? Should we treat pipes all as if they're objects of art and handle them with kid gloves? Or, should we treat the vast majority of them like they're tools, use them for what they're intended, and, maybe the select few we put away and keep as museum pieces? The other passions that I have are fishing, and in particular fly fishing, and woodworking. And it's interesting because there's parallel items in both of those worlds. So I love hand saws. I love old hand saws. And you can get an old hand saw and tune it up, and I'm talking about 1800s era hand saws. And you can tune it up and get it working and use it every day, and it works beautifully. It's steel. It's not, it hasn't gone bad over time or anything. And there are people that don't like that. They think you should preserve it and keep it as a historical artifact. And then there are people, and these people I don't like. There are people that will buy them and paint them and turn them into art. And that drives me crazy when I see a hand saw that's been painted and hung on a wall, because it's a tool and it's meant to be used. And in fly fishing, there's the bamboo fly rods where, you get some very old, very rare rods, from some of the, original makers, people like Leonard. And you say, well, or someone like Garrison who only made a few hundred maybe. And you say, well, I don't know if I should be throwing that in my trunk and driving around. But the vast majority of these rods, they were mass-produced, factory-produced, and there's a lot of them. So use them, enjoy them, use them for what the person that made that rod wanted it to be used. Don't hang it on a wall and treat it like it's a museum piece, unless it truly is a museum piece. Anyway, you can probably tell that I have some strong feelings about this point. And again, it's a personal thing, so I hope any of you that think differently than I do on this, don't think that I'm calling you out or pointing a finger here. I'm curious to have a dialogue about this because it's something that has puzzled me in multiple hobbies, and the pipes are just one aspect of that. Where do you draw that line? Where do you decide it stops being a tool and it starts being art? So boy, when the light catches the smoke, it's really quite thick. I was obscuring myself for a moment there. So I posted the last of the Stanwell Bulldog restoration videos on Wednesday, and I've gotten some very good comments from that. I appreciate all of your support and your kind words. And I am happy with the way it turned out in the end. I mentioned before that there were some challenges with it, but I think in the end it turned out pretty good. Next up, I've got a two-part series. I'm sorry, it just strikes me as funny to even say this, a two-part series on cleaning stems, which is just going to be thrilling, hold you on the edge of your seat, I'm sure. But this is one of these pipe maintenance videos that I'm making where I want this to sort of go into the library and be able to refer to it in the future, and maybe even just be able to refer to a section of it. So I don't expect every time you want to clean the stem that you have to watch a two-part video. But if you want to know about how to clean a stem, you could kind of zip through these two parts, find the part that's relevant to you, and hopefully learn something from that. And as always, if there's something that I miss or that that I haven't included, I hope that you'll let me know so that I can learn something from it as well. After the stem cleaning videos, I've got a really neat project. That's an unusual pipe, and I'm not gonna say any more than that. But I think you'll enjoy it because it's not rare, but it's just something you don't see much of. So it should be a fun project. So I think that's about everything that I wanted to touch on. Gotten a lot of new subscribers, and I'm very grateful. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it when you subscribe because it just lets me know that you're interested. Gives me another reason to come down here on a Sunday afternoon and make one of these videos, knowing that there's people out there that are interested enough that they want to subscribe. And the comments have been fantastic. I really enjoy the back and forth with all of you. Whether it's just saying hello or asking questions, providing advice and alternate methods, I really enjoy all of that. It's the main reason that I wanted to do these videos, so that's very helpful. So I will see you again next week. Look forward to the first of the stem cleaning videos coming out this Wednesday. And until then, I hope you all have a great week and take care of yourself, and I will talk to you again soon. So goodbye now.